When Gertrude Sammon took over as CEO of Apex Dynamics, she was young, brilliant, and eager to carry on the legacy her father had built. He had founded the company on values of honesty, integrity, and dedication, and Gertrude was determined to preserve that legacy. But what she didn't expect was the storm that lay ahead. At first, everything seemed fine, until she noticed troubling signs. The company's earnings were slipping, employee morale was at an all-time low, and rumors about corruption within the management team began to surface. Despite the growing challenges, Gertrude's resolve remained unshaken. She believed in her father's values and knew she couldn't let his hard work be tarnished by dishonesty. As the new CEO, she had a mission to protect the company's integrity. But little did she know, the deeper she dug, the more shocking the truth would become. As Gertrude settled into her role as CEO, the first signs of trouble were hard to ignore. The company's earnings began to slip, and despite her best efforts to motivate the team, employee morale hit rock bottom. The atmosphere at Apex Dynamics was far from what her father had worked so hard to cultivate. The once thriving culture of trust and collaboration was now overshadowed by whispers of something darker at play. Rumors of corruption among the senior management team began to circulate. Whispers about shady deals, inflated reports, and questionable financial practices. Gertrude felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She was heartbroken and outraged. How could this happen in the company that her father had built with such care and integrity? Something was clearly wrong, and as much as she wanted to believe it was just hearsay, her instincts told her that there was much more to the story. Determined to uncover the truth, Gertrude knew she had to investigate further. The legacy she so deeply cherished was at risk, and she would stop at nothing to protect it. Faced with growing suspicions and a sense of betrayal, Gertrude devised a bold and risky plan to get to the bottom of the corruption that seemed to be festering in the company. Rather than confronting the issue head-on and risking alerting those responsible, she decided to go undercover, disguising herself as a janitor during the evening shift. Under the alias of Jane, Gertrude knew she would blend into the background unnoticed, allowing her to observe the true nature of her employees without anyone suspecting her true identity. The risks of her plan were enormous. If she was discovered, not only would she lose her credibility as CEO, but she might also jeopardize her entire investigation. Worse, the very people she trusted the most could turn against her. Yet Gertrude felt a deep resolve. Her father's legacy was on the line, and the company's future depended on the truth coming to light. Her heart raced with a mix of determination and fear as she donned the janitor's uniform, her hair pulled back, her face obscured by thick-rimmed glasses. With every step she took through the darkened halls of Apex Dynamics, Gertrude knew this was the only way to expose the lies and deceit that threatened to destroy everything her father had built. She was ready to face the risks head-on, knowing that the path ahead was fraught with danger, but driven by the unwavering need for justice. One quiet evening, as Gertrude moved through the company's darkened halls, she stumbled upon her first major discovery. While cleaning the conference room, she overheard two managers, Paul and Stacy, engaged in a hushed conversation about embezzling company funds. Gertrude's heart sank as she listened to them casually discuss their schemes. Paul boasting about how much money he had made off the fraud, while Stacy eagerly chimed in, thrilled with how easily they'd been manipulating the books. It was a devastating moment, her first confirmation that something deeply sinister was happening within her company. As the days passed, each night brought new revelations. She overheard Ryan, one of her rising stars, plotting to funnel company money into a fake expense account. Then there was Sarah, the head of marketing, inflating sales reports to secure larger bonuses. The deeper Gertrude dug, the more corruption she uncovered. Trusted employees, people she had once relied on, were all involved in lies, deceit, and betrayal. Each discovery was like a punch to her gut. Gertrude had built these relationships, had believed in the integrity of her team. But now, one by one, they were falling apart. Her disbelief turned to heartbreak as she realized how far-reaching the corruption was, and the weight of it all was almost unbearable. Yet her determination never wavered. She couldn't let her father's legacy be destroyed. But as she quietly continued her investigation, the emotional toll of uncovering the truth weighed heavily on her. As Gertrude continued her undercover work, she knew the time had come to gather solid evidence, something irrefutable that would expose the depth of the corruption within her company. She meticulously collected documents, recording conversations, and taking notes on the shady dealings she witnessed each night. The incriminating sales reports, fake expense accounts, and admissions of fraud were all carefully stashed away. Gertrude's mind raced as she pieced together the full extent of the betrayal, and with every new discovery, her resolve grew stronger. She wasn't just uncovering lies, she was preparing for something much bigger. After months of covert investigation, Gertrude decided it was time to act. She meticulously planned a surprise company-wide meeting, one that would shake the very foundations of Apex Dynamics. She knew it had to be unexpected to catch the guilty managers off guard, so she arranged for every senior manager to be present. The tension in the air would be palpable when they realized the truth. Gertrude, in her CEO role, was finally ready to confront them. She had all the evidence, all the proof she needed, and this meeting would be her moment to take back control of her father's company. She wasn't just exposing their corruption, she was ensuring they would never tarnish his legacy again. The day of the surprise meeting arrived, and the managers filed into the conference room, exchanging confused glances. No one knew why they had been summoned, and a few of them looked visibly nervous. As the last manager took their seat, the room fell into an uneasy silence, the air thick with tension. They had no idea what was about to unfold. Suddenly the door opened, and in walked Gertrude, not in a janitor's uniform, but in her usual CEO attire, her presence commanding the room. The shock was immediate. Eyes widened, and the room went deathly quiet as the realization hit. This was no ordinary meeting. This was the moment they had all unknowingly awaited. Gertrude stood tall, her gaze unwavering as she locked eyes with each of them. "You may not recognize me, but you've seen me before," she said, her voice calm but steady. "I'm Jane, the janitor you ignored." The room went still as the truth settled in. With cold precision, Gertrude laid out the evidence she had gathered over the months: documents, recordings, confessions, and methodically detailed each manager's betrayal. She named names, revealed the fraudulent schemes, and exposed every criminal activity they had been involved in. As she spoke, her demeanor remained calm and decisive, her conviction unshaken. Every lie, every stolen cent, was now in the open. There was no turning back for them now. As Gertrude finished laying out the evidence, the room was heavy with disbelief and shame. Without hesitation, she turned to the guilty managers and announced, "Effective immediately, all of you are terminated from your positions at Apex Dynamics. Your actions have not only betrayed this company, but also the trust of every employee who believed in its core values." The room erupted in shocked murmurs, but Gertrude's voice remained unwavering. "Moreover, charges will be filed against those involved in criminal activities. You will face the full consequences of your actions." At her signal, security personnel entered the room, ready to escort the disgraced managers out. Some of them scrambled to protest, their faces flushed with panic as they begged for a second chance, pleading for mercy. But Gertrude remained stoic, her gaze hardening as she watched them. There was no room for leniency, no place for excuses. She knew that her decision wasn't just about punishing those responsible, it was about protecting her father's legacy, ensuring that the company he built would never fall prey to corruption again. As the managers were escorted out, Gertrude stood tall, her resolve firm. She had done what was right, no matter the cost, and she would rebuild Apex Dynamics on the foundation of honesty, integrity, and respect. As Gertrude stood in her father's office, gazing out at the city skyline, a deep sense of relief washed over her. She had done it. She had exposed the corruption, rid the company of those who betrayed it, and restored Apex Dynamics' integrity. The weight that had pressed on her heart for so long began to lift, and she could finally breathe easy, knowing that the company her father had built on values of honesty and hard work was now in good hands once again. Her time undercover, disguised as Jane the janitor, became a legend within the company, a symbol of her unyielding dedication to uncovering the truth, no matter the cost. Employees would speak of it for years to come, a story of a CEO who went to extraordinary lengths to protect the legacy she cherished. Thank you for watching this incredible story. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more fascinating stories like this. Have a great day.